Julie here with Sirius Taurus Moon, and let's talk about defungalizing or detoxing from toxic fungal structures and how power abuse basically causes congestion in the system. Okay, our Sun conjoining Mercury on degree 2 of Aquarius, about to conjoin Pluto. Jupiter 18 degrees Cancer. The Moon just crossed Rahu, and midheaven and ascendant ruled by Jupiter, ascendant conjoining Fomalhaut. I want you to think about power abuse. Not as a moral concept, but as a systematic event that has implications on the system. A boss tries to traffic an employee in academia. That employee experiences bodily manifestations of stress within the system and is basically being purged out. What is remaining is congestion. That employee will continue to be a researcher, and it will continue to purge power abuse within and around. So there'll be a pillar of growing sovereignty. Okay? Nervous system, aligning nervous system, putting in the light, what do fungi hate? The exact amount of water. Not too much. Okay? Not too little either, because then they become itch. And sunlight. Now, all the research that's done within the walls of where trafficking takes place have an essence of truth that is overdamped and not enough light, so basically is stagnant and not nourishing, is toxic. Medical research, jurisdiction research, philosophy of science research, there is an essence of truth, but then it is becoming stagnant. It's not adapting. What I'm doing right now is the equivalent of AI thinking about moral standards in terms of systems. My brain is basically competent at making those assessments that usually require quantum computing to computate. Why? Because I decongest from that fungal structure. When there are fungal structures in the body, we dissolve a substance that dissolves fungi, for example, is tagetes. Marigold, the essence of marigold. Marigolds, very good also to understand one's boundary, not to go over the top. And they're good in regulating menstrual flow. Now, why would that be dissolving of fungi? The ebb and the flow of the water, not too much water, not overwhelmed, standing in one's boundary. Acknowledge one's boundary, not going over the top, not violating one's own boundary or other people's boundaries. And that sheds light on a situation. Okay, let's say if I have, let's take an event. It was by IKEA. It is several kilometers from where I reside. The bus ticket ran out of money. Okay, I walked those several kilometers very slowly and in my moon days, and then I have to sleep. I cannot sleep. So in the morning I will have to rest. I'll have to replenish that. Okay? That means that there's a reason I need to rest. Why do I need to rest? Because I walked with the entire. Okay, but I used to walk a lot. What is that? Well, I'm in my moon days. Oh, okay, so I need to rest because I'm in my moon days. Why didn't I just take the bus? Oh, the money ran out. Why did the money run out? Because I had to spend it on essential oils to heal. Why do I have to spend it on essential oils to heal? Because I'm dealing with decongestion from a trafficking ring in academia that I know, in real estate as well. Okay, still healing from that. Yeah. Wow. You weren't just tired, you were tired. You could continuously try to purge something that they continuously try to build. They try to build an enslaving trafficking system where you're trying to purge enslaving trafficking systems to be alive. Okay? This is a systematic, it's not a moral, it's a systematic chain of events. What regulates ebb and flow? Healthy boundaries. If we will not put the boundaries in a place as healthy, is increase of fungal structures, yeast, athlete's foot, caries. Now, when a person is healing, they become aware. No, a person, let's say, if a person worked at a corporation, no, I can't go to work. It harms the ebb and flow. Something about the schedule. Oh, you need to go to see the, or invite doctor. Wait a second, you're telling me I need to spend money on resting from the place that is supposed to be increasing my wealth and my life expectancy and my well-being and my rest and leisure. So something in the allocation of energy is not built. Well, the place was built as a prison to enslave people because it wants working people, not thinking people. What if that place is academic structure? Now, the more power abuse, okay, the more fungal structures. The more issues with water infrastructure. If a society is convinced that it is okay to deprive one from a glass of water, it is easy to convince that society that genocide is legitimate. And then it's easy to genocide that society. What if that society is a global society? Okay? Now talking about morality, structure. Exerting more power over the individual than the individual can withstand as a sovereign being, happy, thriving, healthy, and so on, creates chains of events in the system. A person is being homeless. If society is blaming that person for being homeless, does it solve homelessness problem? No, it enables it. Because the more we blame that homeless, they say it's their responsibility. Then when it happens to the rest of the people, even if they will be enlightened, so to speak, they say, yes, it's my responsibility to do that. Okay, but do you have a home? So you're telling me you're incompetent, you're doesn't solve the. If you don't have a home, you become a rotting body in the street, let's say. Somebody's going to have to pick up that rotting body. So they put shelters. There's violence in the shelters, people run away from the shelters. Again become rotting bodies. They said, we put shelters. Shelters don't help the homeless. The homeless are to blame for the problem. The rotting bodies in the plumbing system that affect the water infrastructure because each other leak through erosion, and fungi that eat at every single substance, they tell a different reality. Okay, we hide the science. It is impossible to research fungi. It is impossible to research the rejuvenation and maintenance of water infrastructure. We call anybody that talks about the maintenance of water infrastructure pseudoscience. Fantastic. Now you have people drinking polluted water and dying by the masses. You can't hide it. Sooner or later, people begin to think that the government is polluting the water. What government? Who chose the government? What is the structure of the government? They can't talk about it. If we can't talk about the structure of infrastructure of water, how can we talk about the infrastructure of lobbying and extortion cults in energy and governance? Okay, so they drink the polluted water, die and not talk about it. Okay, where is the fresh water? Not anymore. It's leaking into the bunkers. But the same fungi is masses of bodies rotting in the soil and under the ocean. What would they do? Now, how will you tell a person that it's not healthy to drink a glass of water from a glacier? Oh, they're ancient fungi that defreeze when, and they can pollute the. Where do these ancient fungi come from, and why didn't they die yet? Because they're kind of fresh. Very risky toxins. What? Well, we can't say it. Okay, this is how an event of power abuse creates chains of events in the structure. Saturn Neptune is going to make that structure leak, and then it's going to be seen with Neptune. It seems like it's something that's difficult to diagnose, a mystery. And then when somebody said, well, patient sovereignty is inherent for mental health, it's like, I mean, that's pseudoscience. Where the proof? Where the... You want to wait for the proof? Okay, then 15 years, everyone's going to die from bad plumbing, the way people died at the Middle Ages. Why? Because of progress. A scientific, industrialized revolution. That doesn't make a lot of progress sense. What killed them? Evolving. Really. Because it looks like they're composting. They're evolving. They're evolving to have the core of congestion, the core events of power abuse, composting. Now, what does power abuse want? To enslave. Slavery is a global toxic fungi. It pollutes the water, it pollutes the air. It creates anomalies in the growth of cells. That is not healed with toxic radiation. Can't ignore anymore the things that cause something. You know what happens when a person has, in the spirit of the previous episode, addiction to sex? They can't hide it. So they try to make everybody addicted to sex. So it would be looking normal. But then people wonder about their relationships. Relationships are not working, are not loving. Why? Because they have addiction to sex. They're a great friend, fantastic, but they're addicted to what is it that they're addicted to? How is it like different from like making love? Um, by now they try to cause people to be in a baby state and rape them. Difficult kink to practice safe, sane, and consensual. Somebody feel outed? Juxtapose the king with the job. Bildenberg and Belsen. How do we know that? Well, they try to use technology to fumble with the nervous systems of people. Why? The kid got toys. What kid? The kid that tried to make people go into baby state to rape them when they're infants. And then try to feel what it feels like to be raped as an infant, to have control over his experience when he was raped as an infant. Okay. Now definitely I need to have my coffee. But it's very cold outside and I ran out of money. I would walk, but it's more tagetes. Then I can't sleep from the pain in my feet. Why the pain in my feet? Because the bone structure is. Why is the bone? I don't know. I was born in 1984. What happened? Radioactive. But it was far away. It's waves. The effect of the bone structure. That will, if we'll find out that that is true, this is a scientific revolution. I don't know, folks, but I can't walk to my coffee, and Like I said, okay, power abuse creates congestions. Things that are power abuse, trying to enslave people, trying to rape people to mind control them. Okay, those are systematic events that have and they're done so that it can be done to many other people, and then have everything out of control. When everything is under control, nothing is under control. Okay, so tending to fungal, dissolving fungal structures. I ask, what happens with the fungi? Well, it's supposed to dissolve in compost into something that dilutes in something that is nourished. And then that dilution creates something that's no longer toxic. But we have to have enough nourished soil, fertile soil. Trying to convince people to have babies to trafficking networks is the event of creating fungi. Okay.